Welcome back to another episode of the Growth Never Stops podcast. It's the last day of the month, February 28th, 2026, and I'm staying true to my standards regarding podcast episodes, content creation, and my standard is to make sure that I record and publish one podcast episode per month, minimum, at least. Won't settle for less than that. Fortunately, I had two guests lined up, which, couldn't make it. So couldn't make it happen. And I just took on the initiative to make it happen myself, as I still do solo episodes. And that's great because I have so many topics lined up and I got a lot of things to share, a lot of things that have helped me along my journey. And for those who are watching this right now, also made a few upgrades, such as joining the whiteboard gang. Beautiful whiteboard right here. I also am wearing my wireless mic, which I'm trying for the first time. And I also got a tripod, like doing the real content creator influencer stuff. But please never call me like that. Don't call me like that. Anyways, you can also see that I'm in my sports attire right now, as I'm coming back from a 2-hour training very, very hard for an ultra marathon. And there as well, I have my standards. I have my training set up. I have a rigorous program following and staying true to, and that's what I do. It's not negotiable. It's just what I do. And that's the message of the day. A big lesson that I learned from an online business mogul, fitness OG, which some of you might know, and that is Brandon Carter. My guy, Brandon Carter. I love this guy, big time. King Keto, that's his nickname. And he's been around for a few, probably 15 years or something like that. Like a long time for sure. Started early in the YouTube days, and he was one of the OGs for real, and ended up building a big business empire. And he has a great podcast as well called Victory Talk, and I love it because it's a great mixture of street smart and also being just intelligent academically, or however you want to call it, being funny. This guy is so hilarious without even trying, but you get to learn a lot. And one of the things he's saying over and over again for people to register that, because that's how you learn as well, through repetition and spaced repetition. And that is that you don't rise to the level of your ambitions. You fall to the level of your what? I'm gonna let you have a guess. Standards. Who? What do I mean by that? Again, you don't rise to the level of your what? Ambitions. You fall to the level of your what? Standards. Very interesting to do this whiteboard thing. I'm not the expert in this type of conveying messages, but hey, just gonna give it a go. This is when you're talking about something that you aspire for, a goal, a chief aim, something you're striving for. The problem with rising to your ambitions is that it has the connotation of chasing something, going for something, striving for something, which is great in a sense of having big visions and dreaming big and going for something. It's a beautiful thing. But the question is, how achievable is it? How achievable is that? How sustainable is it? How realistic is it? How consistent can you be with it? Falling to your standards is a different ballgame. It has a different connotation. It sounds more like a choice and a declaration. I choose to do this. I choose to embody that. It's a non-negotiable. And it sounds more realistic, something you can be more consistent with. And that's something I've applied. I've applied consciously, unconsciously, and it has definitely helped me to make sure that I get closer over time to my aspirations, or even get like some goals done. And by allowing yourself to have this basis, because falling to your standards, it sounds like you fall to your cushion. There's like a cushion, fundamentals, a basis, a floor, and this floor can rise. You can rise this floor of standards over time. That doesn't mean that you stay stuck at an echelon, at a level. You can slowly rise it up sustainably and consistently. And that's a huge difference. Rising to your ambitions can be great as well, occasionally, but it's just the risk and the matter of how sustainable can it be over time. But falling to your standards, it's a different ballgame. It feels like it's more attainable. Your goals feel more attainable. The daily habits, behaviors, and actions that you apply, that you exercise, feel more doable, realistic. And I'd like to give some few examples to just illustrate that. And that is, for example, which I just said with my podcast. I could rise to my ambitions of recording and publishing 3, 4, 5 videos, recordings per month. Or I can just start with having a non-negotiable, that's right, standard, where I'm just doing 1 per month, which is completely non-negotiable, and which I'm currently doing right now. And over time, once I see that I'm able to keep that up, this level of standard, I can progressively go up with it and then go for 2 per month, completely non-negotiable. So by falling to my standards, I'm still giving my chance to rise over time, but realistically, consistently, and sustainably. Another example is reading books. I really love and enjoy reading books, self-development books. Been doing that for about a decade. But I've had some times where I just started to drift away from it, and then just didn't get into it again. And about 6 months ago, through an accountability group that I co-created, we went for a hardcore 90-day run, and where I read every day and progressively more. So I started the first month with a standard of 5 pages per day. Absolutely doable. Like anybody can find time to read 5 pages per day. Then the next month, I did 10 pages per day. And then the last month, I did 15 pages per day. And I ended up reading, I can't even remember, I think it was about 5, 6 books in 3 months, which I had not done in years. And just by setting a standard. And right now, what I'm doing is I'm reading 5 to 10 pages about 4 times per week. And which is totally fine. That's a great standard to have. And I'm still going to end up reading a few books per year, instead of having the ambition of, oh yeah, I would love to read 1 book a week. Yeah, but how realistic is it? How sustainable is it? Based on life circumstances and time, and energy. So yeah, that's a difference. Big difference. Classic example as well. Diet, or let's call it nourishment, eating, food. If you only have healthy food at home, you don't have any garbage, any fast food or sugar, biscuits, things of that nature, you are positioning yourself in a way where you are gonna eat healthy because you don't have garbage at home. But if you have some garbage at home, you're gonna be more likely to be tempted to go for it, whether it is visible or even not. Even if it's not visible, it's still gonna be in the back of your mind. And our willpower throughout a single day is limited as well. It goes down. And you just need a flash of a few minutes to be tempted, and that couldn't ruin an entire day or even an entire week of just eating healthy foods. And of course, overall speaking, I'm a big fan of the 80-20 rule, or 70-30, 75-25, where for 70% of the day of what I'm consuming, what I'm eating, it's healthy, well balanced. And for the rest of the 30%, it's just going to be me treating myself, feeding my inner child, going for pleasure. It can also be 80-20, 75-25. That's a healthy balance, healthy standard. But yeah, that's a typical example of that. And same when you go to work. You're more likely to eat healthy if you cook your own food and meal prep in advance and bring it to work than going to work with nothing and then heading out and going for some garbage food. It's very simple. So another big word when it comes to that is positioning and curating your environment, your reality in a way that you set yourself up that you're going to be way more likely to actually reach what you're aspiring for, your goals, or even just day-to-day habits and behaviors and actions that are just healthy for you and that make you feel good. So that's it. That's what it's about. Does that mean that rising to your ambitions is never good? No, of course. That's something I always encourage people to do, is to go big, dream big, and I do that myself all the time. And I'm not gonna let anybody tell me to not dream big. Definitely feeding and keeping that inner child. But the thing is just thinking about when to do it at the right time, and it doesn't have to be all the time, because you have this cushion of your standards, falling to your standards. Does that make sense? I bet it does. So again, like Brendan Connor said, you don't rise to the level of your ambitions, you fall to the level of your standards. That's it.